make sure that you avoid being chatty. They'll ask you just one question and you will bring stories out of the questions. Do not deviate from what you wrote in your SOP. Sometimes they will just engage you. They will just make it lengthy for you, and they will see that is an open-ended question. At the end of the day, I told the woman, I've paid my school fees, but the woman was told, bring your documents, log into your student account. Let's see, I did everything, but still there was some kind of friction. Hello everyone, welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. To my new subscribers, my name is Gifty. I mostly share content about anything in helping you in relocating to Canada. To my returning subscribers, guys, in fact, I love you. Okay, I love you. Thank you for always staying here with me. Thank you for all you do for me, liking my videos and sharing as well. When you like my video, it really motivates me to bring you more and more and more content. So today, the reason why I am just sitting in this way is that when you talk about port of entry, people usually put some fear in them. It just brings some fear, especially when you get your visa and you start to plan your trip. When you hear of the port of entry, you have that kind of feeling in you. What will happen to me at the airport? What are the questions that they will ask? And you tend to search online and a whole lot of things, and it brings some kind of anticipated anxiety in you. Yes, the information that is being given online is just to prepare you. But guys, I will tell you the truth. The truth is that when you get to the Canada port of entry and everything about your document is actually fine, you don't have a problem. In fact, out of the 15 students that we just arrived at that very moment, none of them had any issue. Okay, and I will just mention one of the issues that really happened, but it wasn't like true questions. Okay, it was one document that was left. I think the person couldn't print that document out, so I'll just touch on all these things for you. But as to the questions that we will be giving to you, a whole lot of questions and answers, you won't be giving like 10 questions or no, it's nothing like that. So please, if you entered into my channel with some fears and anxieties, please, I'll tell you that just take in a deep breath. Just take in a deep breath, relax, okay? Everything is gonna be successful for you, and I always tell you the truth, okay? So before I start everything, what I would like to tell you is that I am not an immigration consultant, okay? Any information I'll be giving to you is from my own experience and the experience from other people and the research that I have made so far. I will be giving you the questions that you might expect. I will also give you an answer to this question. Try as much as possible to tailor it to your situation, okay? Because the answers that I might giving you will be just for educational purpose, but try and tailor it to your specific situation. I actually don't like bringing like 3 contents in one video, okay? Because sometimes the questions that will be asked when you are on a study permit will be different from someone on a spousal open work permit or even a closed work permit, or someone on a visitor or a tourist or a super visa. So I just don't want to bring everything to confuse you. Today I will just talk about when coming with a study permit. As time goes on, I will be bringing content on how to answer your question as a visitor and also when you are on a work permit as well. So I won't delay so much. Let me just start with what I have for you today. I'll be looking into my book because I have written one of the researches that I made, the questions that was asked from other people, and I've gathered everything together. I don't want to give you wrong information, so if you see me looking down, I am just making sure that I am giving you the right information. information. So please, let's get started. If you haven't watched my other video on the documents or the things you need to pack when coming to Canada, please after this video go and watch, because I mentioned the documents that you will need to bring with you when you are coming to Canada, and these documents will be needed at the port of entry. Okay, so with that one, I mentioned so many documents that you should bring. So because I am talking about the port of entry stuff today, I will just hit on 1 or 2 documents that you will need at the port of entry, because your questions might be based on these documentations that you did, or you might be asked to prove or bring out this document, or you've made the full deposit of your tuition fee. Please bring the receipt along with you. One thing that you shouldn't also forget is your passport. Yes, you shouldn't forget your passport at all. So any documents that you used in support of your application, you have to bring it. And any documents that you use for your immigration process, those that the IRCC sent to you, make sure you print them on. Your medical report, please bring it. So I might miss 1 or 2 things here, but then refer to my other video on the things to pack to Canada and get all the documents you need to bring to Canada. So basically, the introductory letter and your passport is something very important. And also, as a student, you shouldn't forget your enrollment letter or your letter of acceptance. This is also very important as a student. So basically, these are the documents that you would need with you. I will just mention the documents for you. So the first document that you shouldn't forget is your introductory letter. Introductory letter is the last letter that will be given to you after you receive your visa. It usually comes as a correspondence letter. Okay, so mostly we have 2 correspondence letters. One will come before your passport request, and one will come after you receive your visa. So this one that I'm talking about is the last document that you would have. You will receive from IRCC. Yes, that is your introductory letter. That is what will determine at the port of entry that yes, they should give you your study permit. The next document that you shouldn't forget is your passport request letter. So this one can sometimes be improvised if you have received some delayances in getting your introductory letter, because this really happened to me. And if this content is not too long, I will just bring to you what really happened to me. So please make sure you get your passport request letter with you. Also, make sure you bring your SOP. Okay, bring your SOP, bring your proof of finance, the document that you used in support of your application. Please bring it along with you. If you've made the full deposit of your tuition fee, please bring the receipt along with you. I'm done with the documents. Let's move into the questions that you might expect. So the first question that they will usually ask you is your purpose in Canada. So what is your purpose in Canada? Your purpose here when you are coming with a study permit is to study. That is just it. So what is your purpose here? To study. And I'll also just pass this through. Make sure that you avoid being chatty. Don't be chatty there. Don't make your story so long. Ask you just one question and you will bring stories out of the questions. If you do that, you are being open for them to ask you so many questions. So if they ask you a question, it's either yes or no or that or this. Don't move ahead to bring any stories in it. Avoid it. Okay, so the first question you should expect is your purpose in Canada, and the answer you should give is that you are here to study. The next question that you should expect is your program. What program will you be pursuing? So what program? You know your program that you came along with. Make sure you know. Then you mention it. I am here to study maybe a degree in this, a diploma in this, an advanced diploma in this, or a certificate in this program. You just mention it. Don't move ahead. That is just it. So your question, your answer is either yes or no. Okay, that is it. The next question that you should expect is the duration of your program. So most of the times, those that you contact agents to do your application for you, make sure that you know all these informations, yes, so that you won't complicate yourself or contradict yourself at the port of entry. What is the length of your program? If it is 1 year, give 1 year. If it is 2, 3, 4, then you can just mention my program is 4 semesters in length. Okay, yes. The next question that you should expect is the payment of your tuition. So they can ask you, have you paid your tuition? So if you've paid your tuition, fine. Yes, I've paid my tuition, my full tuition, or I've made a deposit of my tuition fee. This one can lead them to tell you that bring your tuition receipts, but some of them too, they would not ask. In my personal experience, they asked me whether I've paid my tuition fee. I mentioned yes, but then they didn't ask me to prove my documents. But sometimes they will ask you to prove your tuition receipt. They actually have your information there, but they just want to know that yes, this is true and this is what you have like information you have given. So please be careful of what you say. The next question that you should expect is, where will you be staying? So where will you be staying in Canada? So once you are coming, if you are coming to stay with a friend for a while, make sure you get the address. If you have been able to secure accommodation before you land here, make sure you have the address of the place or any lease agreement that you have. If you have booked a hotel or an Airbnb, make sure you have the address of the place. If you are coming to stay with a family member, make sure you know the address of that place. So they can ask you this question. If you are living in a student residence, you have documents that you can use to prove that. So always make sure you get the address of where you would be residing when you land in Canada. The next question that you should expect is, how can you cater for yourself or pay your tuition fee whilst in Canada? So remember, they have everything of you. In your SOP, you stated it there that this is the means that you will use to prove your fund or take care of yourself when you land in Canada. Make sure you mention that same reason. Don't mention any different thing apart from that. So if it is your family or your organization or loan or whatsoever that is backing your study or anything that is backing your living here in Canada, the expenses and everything, make sure you mention that thing. Do not deviate from what you wrote in your SOP. So the next question that you should expect is, what will you do after your program? Mostly they ask this question because they know that yes, sometimes we come with an intention of working, living here, yes, in Canada or studying in Canada. Getting your work permit or your PR is legal in Canada, okay? But please do not mention that at the port of entry when they ask you your aim after your program. Do not mention that to them. So if they ask you what will you be doing after your program, you can simply say that you would be going back home to continue your business. And mind you, in your SOP you have a point that you will write your future plan. So make sure that the future plan that you are saying that very moment goes in line with what you wrote in your SOP. So in your SOP, if you wrote that you would be going back to do this or to do that, make sure when they ask you what you'll be doing after your program, you mention that. Do not say anything different. So maybe in case you would want to go back home to manage your business, say that. If you would also study, and after your study you would be seeking Canadian experience, you can just simply say that, oh, after your program you would like to apply for your postgraduate work permit to gain Canadian experience so that you can use to help your business back home or achieve this thing back home. So you can also say that, yes, it's fine to say that you need to get Canadian experience, okay? But don't mention anything like you would apply for your PR and stay in Canada because it's legal. No, don't say that, okay? Yes. So the next questions that you should also be expect sometimes is your home ties, especially when you are married or when you are a business partner or those things. They would like to ask you your home ties. So simply, if you are married, you can say that your wife is back home. If you're a businessman, you can say your business is back home. If you are on a study leave or yes, a resignation and all these things, you can just say that yes, you are on a study leave, and when you are done, you'll be going back to pursue your education. Or if you are on a work leave, you can also mention that when you complete your program, you get back home to re-enter into your professional job. And if there is a situation whereby you have sorted for a resignation before coming, you just provide the answer that when you finish your program, you would go back, use your experience to explore other opportunities back home. Okay, so basically when they ask you your future plan, these are the things that you should say, but make sure that is the same thing you wrote in your SOP. So if this video has been useful so far, please subscribe, give me your like, and let me continue. Another thing that you should also expect is that sometimes the question might not be in this form, like what, where, that. No, sometimes they will just engage you. They will just engage you, like having a friendly conversation with you. Hi Gifty, welcome to Canada. Is this your first time of traveling to Canada? What has been your experience in your past travel? Have you received any visa rejections and those things? So they will just make it lengthy for you, and they will see that is an open-ended question. So they will see from, oh yeah, I've traveled outside the country before. I got a visa rejection one time, and the purpose was that I wasn't able to prove my fund well. So if you do this, you are trying to give more information. So when they engage you in a conversation, be very, very careful of what you want to say. I am not currently talking about spousal open work permits, but I'll bring one thing for you to just have a clear view of what I am saying. Remember, my husband was joining me when he got to the port of entry. What they asked was like not what and how thing. It was like, hey, how are you? Why are you here? So my husband was like, oh, my wife is an international student and I'm joining. Oh, okay, so when did she landed here? And how far has she been coping so far? And has she been able to secure a job? So you see, this is kind of a friendly conversation. My husband wouldn't have expected that, oh, they are asking questions. It would be like they are having a conversation with him. Okay, yes. So my husband was like, oh, I'm here to join my wife who is an international student here. She actually came in September and she hasn't been able to cope very well, and that is the purpose that I am even here. So you see, though my husband is on work permits, okay, but he didn't mention anything like I am here to work. The primary goal is that You are here to support your wife emotionally, okay? To back your wife emotionally, support physically. That is your first aim, okay? So it's not because you are on a work permit you have to tell them that you will work. And as a student, don't mention you will work because you are eligible to work. No, when they ask you anything, make sure you don't bring anything like you would find job to cater for yourself and those things. No, you shouldn't do that. What you have to do is your first aim, to study. That is your first aim. So basically, these are 1 or 2 questions that you should expect to get at the port of entry. But guys, I must tell you this. All these questions and answers that I have given you, maybe you will even be asked 2 of them, okay? They won't just stress you. Where the most stress is the airports back home before you move to Canada. Me, that is where I received my stress, because at the end of the day, I told the woman I've paid my school fees, but the woman was told, bring your documents, log into your student account. Let's see, I did everything, but still there was some kind of friction. So that is it. But when I got here, it was very, very cheap. So please don't put this fear in you. And they ask you, make sure you give yes or no. Make sure all the questions that you are giving goes in line with your SOP. Don't deviate from whatever that is in your SOP. Make sure you don't forget your letter of acceptance. Make sure you don't forget your college name. Make sure you don't forget the city that you are going to stay, or the city that the school is in. Make sure you don't forget your program length, your program of study, and the address of where you will be staying. Make sure you don't forget your sponsors, your home tie, and your future plan. Make sure you relate it to your SOP as well. So basically, these are 1 or 2 things that you should expect at the port of entry. So I will just end everything with my personal experience I had at the port of entry, though I have mentioned a whole lot of them, but I'll still bring it. So the first thing that you should expect is that after you move from your home country and you take your transit and you land in Canada, immediately you land there, what they will tell you is probably, oh, student, please come this way. So you just line up there. Remove your acceptance letter. Remove your introductory letter. That is what they will ask you. Remove your introductory letter. So you just remove your introductory letter. You go and you just key in your you do your clearance, okay? There is a machine that you go and you declare your goods on it. And this thing too, you can also do it before you come, like 3 days before you land in Canada. It is called ArriveCan. That is the app, ArriveCan. You can use to just process your clearance, okay? Clearance of goods and some fingerprints and other stuff. You can use it there so that it won't delay your time there, because I did it before I went. If you are not able to do it back home, and you go, the first thing you do is to use the machine. And then after that, they will just take your introductory letter, they will give it to the border officers. They won't ask you any question at that very moment. The first people that you will meet is those that is just watching you to do your clearance and everything. Then you move to the main immigration officers, or the border. You move to the main border officers. So that is where they will be asking you all these questions for yourself. And guys, there was one lady who left her introductory letter back home. Is it back home? She didn't print the introductory letter, and it was very stressful for her. I had to help her log into the portal and a whole lot of things before she was able to get it. But it was cool for her, yeah, because they took time for her to just do all these things. So when I got there, The only question that I was asked is the school that I will be attending. So I just mentioned my school name. Then they asked me the program. I just mentioned my program. They asked me whether I have paid my tuition fee. I said yes, I've made my tuition fee. And that is all. I got my study permit. So you see, I asked a friend of mine, did you had any question at the airport? No. I asked another person saying, so don't really put this fear in you, okay? It's nothing. I will try and bring content on when you are coming on a work permit and a visitor visa as well. Guys, I hope this video has been helpful so far. Please do me good. Just subscribe to this channel, like this video for me, and share to people who need this information. Please. You know I love you, so please do this for me, okay? So basically, this is the whole content that I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed so far. Bye bye. I love you all.